Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go today with the Ecomi coffee mug. Maybe Ecomi moves, because we are going to talk about some very interesting stuff. We are going to talk about what happened to Bitcoin. Why did the listing disappear, right? So first, the Bitcoin Spot ETF number listing is there, and then it is gone, and everyone is going crazy. And what the fuck is happening to Bitcoin? It went just straight up to 35,000 and is now consolidating somewhere at $34,000. So also what is going to happen? We're looking at some other news, because there are some zombie exchanges coming back to life where we need to be a little bit more careful, and we also should talk about what is happening to altcoins at the moment and why Ecomi is not ready to move. So all of that we are going to talk about after the intro. So, good morning, everyone. How are you doing? I think it's time for a sip of coffee here so early in the morning. Guys, make sure, if you are already in here, make sure to smash up the like button right now to help this channel to get this out to more people. Also, what I forgot is I have to tweet that on Twitter. Bitcoin and Veve fam on Twitter. So there we go. Let's do this. So we have a lot of people here in the chat, and Jordan was saying, I think that was before the stream, Jordan Stout was saying, I'm not surprised. Crypto is 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. It's a highly manipulated and painful marketplace to be in. Smartypants said, well, you can change the video title back to Bitcoin ETF reappears after disappearing earlier. Okay, let me see. That could have happened. And Blaze says good morning. Andrew Dunlap says good morning and good evening. Okay, so what is it for you guys? Is it good morning or is it good evening? Here in Germany, in Munich, it's good morning. So maybe I have to change the video title and everything to it reappears, right? So let me see if there's something happening right now. We can look at Bitcoin news, right? Just in, ARK Spot Bitcoin ETF is now listed on DTCC. So let's check together. Let's do it a little bit more unconventional, and let's check those news together. I mean, you're always in a little disadvantage if you prepare your live stream in the evening, go to bed, sleeping, and then you are coming online in the morning. Luke, what's going on? Good morning. Thank you for your constant support, Luke. So here we go, right? Look at this. The ARK Spot Bitcoin ETF is now listed on the DTCC. So that is something like compliance and control or something else. This is, I think it's it's something like this. So ARKA is here, but let's look at a little bit more. This site is really good. This new all-time high of Bitcoin in Turkey, that's also pretty bad, right? Because that is inflation driven. Even if there's a pullback for us, for Turkey, there's no pullback. Turkey is in a bull run, right? Imagine how this looks when Bitcoin goes into a dollar-related bull run. So BlackRock Spot ETF appears back on DTCC side after crashing early today. Interesting. So maybe, and this is the maybe here, they have delisted these things temporarily because the site went down, because so many people were looking at it. Because actually what we had was this year, right? BlackRock's ETF ticker was removed from listing on the DTCC website, and huge volume of traffic from people checking broke the server. So maybe they have taken it off because they thought they can save the server with it. I don't know, but right now it's back, and ARK investors also back with it. So maybe, yeah, maybe we see here, maybe we get this into the front. We see here that this is, yeah, back in the news, right? So, and that makes us go back on track where we were with the pump. And Bitcoin right now, maybe we check that first. Where is it? Where is my Bitcoin? There we go. Yeah, Bitcoin right now is back at it, right? 33,800 was, I think it's not refreshed. So I just checked, it was 34,000. Yeah, there we go. So what we see right now is that Bitcoin is working on this overhead resistance that poses at 34,000, and that is some resistance that has a little bit of a confluence, right? I mean, we had it here one time in that support range, and then also we crashed below this in the bull market and hit our head on it a little bit, but it's not super mega confluence, right? And I mean, what we are seeing right now is if we would go in the lower time frames, and there we really have to go in the lower time frames, which I don't do often because it does not provide too much value. But right now, for a continuation, we see it provides value, because here we see that hitting our head here, and now we are basically, what we are doing is forming a pennant, right? A nice little bull flag here. And that can take a couple of days to play out. I mean, this could also look like this in the end, right? So I think we could, because nothing bearish has happened, right? We could be just continuing our rally to 37,000 or 38,000, and now we would need to, let's go back into maybe the weekly. We would need to look where the next confluence is here on this, right? And I think that would be right here where we have a little bit more action area, right? So this let's go with this, right? So if you look at this here, there is a lot of confluence because we have been testing here, and we had a major pullback from this level. Also here, major pullback. Then here, major support and run up. Then here, again, crashing down, hitting our head. Then again, support. And then when we crashed here, there was a lot of down action. So I could imagine that we are actually rallying in this rally until we hit this level. And the question is, if so there's two scenarios, right? We are in a weekly now, so you cannot even see that little bull pennant. But the one scenario is we pull back here, retest and come back up to this one, pull back and go back to this, or, and this is at the moment the more likely scenario, we go straight to this and then we pull back to somewhat some of these levels, right? Although we are close to overbought also on the weekly, but I think there could be one more push up to those levels. What I forgot to say yesterday, obviously, with a close above this level, which seems at the moment guaranteed, right, on the weekly, and in general with this daily, this, what we had before, right, this head and shoulders is invalidated. So this is not going to happen anymore. The bearish scenario is invalidated, and more likely than not, this played out, right? So this kind of a double bottom, whatever scenario, like an inverse double peak, right? That played out. Now the question is, do we have anything to look at? Also, what we have been talking a lot of times was this kind of a cup and handle pattern, more or less. It's not super clean, but it also played out. And I think now we have to just check if we are in the logarithmic, but it doesn't look like it. So no, we were in the logarithmic, obviously. So if we take this into consideration, from here to here, Where's the breakout? Then technically from the entire thing, our target should be here, right? 46,000 for a weekly major move, right? So if we say this played out like cup and handle, something like that, with a double handle, so to say, then our target is this here, right? This is why we have this target in the first place. We left it up. So Mexican says pump it. And Green Lantern is also here with the H&M, with the GM. Good morning to you. And Heidelberg, how are you doing? Here, it's beautiful sunrise right now outside of my window there. Looks really good. And by the way, guys, I have forgotten half of what I usually say on the on my intro or on my subscriber screen. So guys, make sure to smash up the like button. I mean, we have 15 people in here. I can see we are excited, right, about this pump. But smashing the like button really helps me. It doesn't cost you a thing. And I think we have less likes than people watching, so that is a shame. Now, and also subscribe to the channel if you want these daily morning streams where we update each other a little bit on what is what is going on in the market. Now, I think this is more or less where the disbelief rally ends, right? So you have this huge, we had talked about it a couple of streams ago, we have this huge disbelief rally, and I think with this disbelief ends, and now we are getting into hope. This is the second stage of pre-bull, where we do not really have the run up yet, but where we are getting into position for our halving, which is going to occur right here. So wherever we are, and hopefully we are at this level, 46,000-ish until the halving. Yeah, it will take a while. I mean, we are in October. We will hopefully have Pumpvember. We will hopefully have Santa Rally and so on, right? So yeah, Felipe is here as well. Good morning, Felipe. How are you doing? Yeah, that is going on. So let's look a little bit more about what happened. So what came out with the news, and I want to talk a little bit again, or take this point again, about market manipulation, right? So we just have this here. Former SEC attorney says approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF is not a given. Funny, right? Because this comes out right when they delisted the number again quickly from the DTCC. And at the same time, they put out a little bit of FUD, which resulted in a 3 to 4% retracement. So now what we have is basically, we have a news-driven pump and dump. And I mean, you can say, hey, patient hodler, you have your tinfoil hat here on your head. But look at what happened, right? We get the news via fake news from Cointelegraph, pumped to 37,000 on some exchanges, right? And then it's fake news. Goes back. 4 days later, when we are basically back to our previous levels at sub 30,000, this number comes out and the rumor comes out that iShares Bitcoin Spot ETF is being listed. Boom, we go back to 35,000. 35,000, we arrive, right? We go a little bit sideways, whales take profit, and the news comes out, oh, the number disappeared. Boom. 4% pullback, and they come out with, oh, spot Bitcoin ETF not a given, says the SEC, right? Now the number reappears, and the bullish stuff continues. So I really want to know who trades all this stuff, right? Who trades all this stuff? Very, very likely there are some institutions that are trading this stuff right now, right? Back and forth. Obviously not on registered wallets and so on. Obviously probably on, I don't know, DEXs or whatever. Jordan, good morning, Jordan. What is going on? How are you doing? How is Ecomiverse, by the way? I've not even seen what you have been putting out on Monday. Who did you have as guest? And Jordan, when is David Yu coming to your channel? That is, and will you have only one-on-one with David Yu, or will you invite other people? So here we go with a little bit more news. Alliance Bernstein calls Bitcoin a safe haven asset, more attractive than gold. So right now, they are all coming out. In the bear market, all of them basically said that Bitcoin is too risky and they don't know if they can offer it to people and so on, right? So Alliance Bernstein is an asset manager with 669 billion in AUM as of September 2023. Okay, so they are coming out here. The Mexica says, would you ever try the live stream to like 6 p.m. local time to include the whole range of America? Maybe it will boost your stats. Yeah, or we just do a second one. That is a good idea. It's a good idea, but 6 p.m. is too early because then at this time I still have to hustle on my work because the altcoin season didn't make me financially free yet. So I will have to do it a little bit later than that, like more like 7 p.m. Maybe I can do that, right? We could have that. Jordan says, I'm saying special guest on next week. Oh, so next week, guys, make sure to be subscribed to Jordan Rees' channel, to Around the Ecomiverse, if you are following Ecomi and Veve, because he has a special guest next week. So definitely not a one-on-one, and it's still going to be a round table. Okay, so very interested in who is going to be at that round table next Monday. That will be a very interesting talk, hopefully. So yeah, we will see. Green Lantern says ETF listing will be for halving, so retail can pump smart money bags. Until then, it's pump and dump on news. Yeah, probably the right assessment here, because we have seen that they have been pushing out these decisions more and more. The only thing that I don't know is if they still have arguments to push it out until I could imagine that they will bring it after Christmas in January or something on those deadlines. Then it's still pre-halving. But yeah, we will see. I think no matter what, the Bitcoin market would have moved at around this time. Just the news makes the move stronger. But I think we would have eventually broken, even without that news, the 30K, the 31K, and started the rally. So yeah, I think you're right. They will try to push it out as much as possible and maybe even cause a major pullback on Bitcoin on top of that 31K, right? But yeah, so also what I found interesting here is China sees the biggest capital flight in 7 years as 4.1 is that true? So that is 100 million, so that's 4.1 billion. Exit struggling stock market. So struggling stock market exit of 5 billion. Maybe the Chinese have pumped the Bitcoin price, who knows? Obviously not in China directly, but by allocating capital to Bitcoin in some other ways. That could have happened, right? So maybe they are fleeing to quality, as Larry Fink from BlackRock says, right? Yeah, but it is still possible for them to flee the stock market. So yeah, China is in a weird spot because they have been putting out that their economy is actually good, but the investors are saying something else. So now, I said in the beginning, zombie exchanges are emerging again from the dead, so to say. BlockFi here is coming back from bankruptcy and opens wallet withdrawals. So that is good for everyone that is using BlockFi, basically. BlockFi announced that it's allowing both US and international users to submit withdrawal requests. So you will be able to access your wallet, apparently, and request to withdraw some bags, right? So withdrawals are currently available to nearly all wallet customers. And that is an official tweet here. BlockFi is pleased to announce that its bankruptcy plan is effective and the company has emerged from bankruptcy. So also that right into our pump, that actually people are getting some monies back. And then together with this news, FTX mults reboot proposals from bidders. So there are apparently a couple, FTX has proposals from 3 bidders to bring the exchange or a version of it back to life, according to a Bloomberg report Tuesday. So all of that, what has been crashing and bringing the Bitcoin price down to unexpected levels, is actually now being reversed. And I would obviously never touch one of these exchanges ever again in my life. But still, if people are able to get their funds back after an exchange crash, or even only a part, that would increase the trust into centralized exchanges and into the crypto space, right? Bob Sales says, yo, good to see you, my friend. Good to see you, Bob Sales. Welcome to the stream. We are talking a little bit Bitcoin news still. Yeah, and then we had this one here. Maybe we can play this quickly because this is what caused the rally in the first place. Jordan says, let's go, let's get the bull run starting. So yeah, let's quickly listen to this because this is one of the or suspected reasons why the pump was so heavy, right? Here we get the Bitcoin heating up. There we go. Andrew Dunlap says, I recently withdrew my Bitcoin from BlockFi. Took a long time. I still can't withdraw my interest account though. Okay, so but it's very good that you could get your Bitcoin out. I think that's the most important thing, that you got your Bitcoin out. So congratulations to this. I'm rooting for everyone to get everything out from there. But I think, yeah, and this is why we are following these news, because there could be people watching that didn't even get the memo yet, right? So yeah, I hope everyone gets their funds out. Smash the like button if you like that Andrew got his Bitcoins back. So let's quickly listen to this, only a minute long, but it explains a little bit more of what we have seen in the rally so far.
Move also helping to boost, of course, as you might expect, MicroStrategy, which owns a lot of Bitcoin. Coinbase also up. Let's get over to Kate Rooney. She's got more on what exactly is driving this latest action, Kate.
Hey, David, good morning. So Bitcoin's rally was first sparked by this excitement we've seen around the approval for a Bitcoin ETF, but there's also some action going on in derivatives markets that's having an impact this week. The cryptocurrency popped above $35,000 this week. That was for the first time since the industry really saw a meltdown last summer. It has been climbing past that $30,000 level in the past couple of weeks, thanks to hope that a Bitcoin ETF would be approved. The SEC declined to challenge a court decision against Grayscale Investments. That company is trying to convert its publicly traded trust, GBTC, into an ETF. You've got BlackRock and Fidelity among those with a Bitcoin application out there as well. Investors I'm talking to say the abrupt spike higher though this week, it's likely due to action going on in the options market. So short covering by traders who bet against Bitcoin. They've got to buy back that cryptocurrency. That's sparking the rally here. According to data from CoinGlass, Bitcoin has seen $250 million in short liquidations in the past day or so. Crypto stocks getting that boost as well. You've got Coinbase higher. It's listed as a partner in a lot of these ETF applications. MicroStrategy, Riot Blockchain as well. Some of the mining names getting a boost as well. Back to you guys.
Yeah, so we have seen a $250 million of short liquidations, and that is where the price basically went. The bears are still trying to short this market, and I have seen yesterday, I couldn't resist to comment a lol on this on Twitter, because I have seen arguments of the perma bears now that is, that pump was just to grab some liquidity on 35,000, but that was it. I saw another one. It just went up to fill the last CME gap at 35,000, but now back to the CME gaps that are open from 5 years ago or so on 3.5 thousand. I mean, this is absolutely crazy to me, because I mean, we have to look at the environment. Yes, sure, we are in some economic trouble. We have recession at our hand, and potentially in 4, 5, maybe 8 years, we are going into a major economy meltdown on the fiat currencies and so on. But we have to, for Bitcoin, we have to look at the next 1.5 years. And what is the biggest likelihood? What is the biggest likelihood in the next 1.5 years? The biggest likelihood is with 100% certainty that the halving comes in. With 100% certainty, there is an election year coming for us, and the US election, where usually governments like to spend to boost their chances to be re-elected in the next year, or at least take a major share, right? There is probably, very likely, money printing coming in by the mid of next year, because they cannot keep the rates at this level all the time without breaking significantly the economy, right? So all of that is. And then the Bitcoin ETFs, right? Obviously, we are seeing it right now. There are numbers popping up on the DTCC for ARK Invest, for iShares, BlackRock ETF, and so on. So if you take all of that together and you say, okay, yes, maybe we are at the brink of a war in the Middle East and so on, but we had before in the bear market, we had a major war unfolding in the bear market. And we went to 15,000. We had pre last bull run, the sea crisis scare with a flash crash and then coming back up. But we would have to have right now against the something of a bigger magnitude than only this, right, to bring us back to sub 10,000. We would really need something really, really bad, like really bad. And I cannot even name something that is coming out right now that would be that bad, right? I think we would need something like a financial meltdown of the US market, complete meltdown where the US dollar is gone or something like, I don't know. I cannot even name it, right? So the question is, how can the bears name it, right? The bears are claiming that this would be the last. They're making it from the charts, right? And if you have a bearish view, you can go bearish on every chart, because until the next all-time high is broken, you can still see a downtrend out of every chart, right? So I am not convinced that this I don't know, this means that they are stuck in the disbelief rally, and I think that the current price action is more than a relief rally. I mean, if we are zooming out on this, yeah, yes, you could have argued this until this major trapdoor support, that this is until this support, right? That this could be a relief rally with a continuous meltdown. But right now there is really no argument at this point that this is true. The likelihood is way higher, right? Crazy Dance has just got another 2.3 million OMI today at 0.0008888. That is a lucky number. I think that is a very lucky number. So bring us luck, right? I can argue until I break this. I can argue that this is still a downtrend, right? And yes, sure, we could, but the news and everything else around Bitcoin right now and everything, all the catalysts that I mentioned, the 4 mega catalysts, are not indicating that that this is going further down. And also, the bears have argued here, rightfully so, that this is a series of lower lows and lower highs, right, in the bear market. That is a series that really implies, okay, that's the direction that we're going. But right now, the bears are not willing to accept that we have a series of higher highs and higher lows, right here. It's still this is a clear uptrend that is going on since months, right? So how many days is that, or how many weeks? Basically, since here, that is 350 days, basically since the last collapse, or maybe you could argue since the pump up. Let's do it like that. That is a 287 days. This is a 287-day uptrend. I don't know where this argument comes from, right? Nice numbers, Crazy Dan. That is 888. It is super good luck. Good luck to us all. Yeah, good luck to us all. Crazy Dan is bringing us the luck. That is the lucky numbers. Let's look at Bitcoin dominance a little bit, because I think that is also something that we talked about a couple of streams ago. Look at this. So we said that we have reversed this by breaking up above, and we have broken up above beautifully, retested and skyrocketed the Bitcoin dominance, and it is still continuing. And guys, as long as Bitcoin dominance is going like this and Ethereum value to Bitcoin dominance or to Bitcoin is going down, there is no altcoin season. The pumps that we have seen from some altcoins, that these are side pumps. No one cares, right? 30-40%, no one cares. I mean, it would be cool for Ecomi, but it's nothing big. Right now it's Bitcoin season, and Bitcoin season will continue more likely than not until, and we have said we will at least see 55% or so. We are now at 54%. More likely than not, we could even look higher here, because if this is already the Bitcoin dominance that we have, and we are looking at ETF approval, I think there is more room to the upside. This is only the rumor. This is only the development that we have right now, and we are now at the moment basically continuing this mega uptrend, right? And you have to see, altcoin season is whenever this happens. Whenever this happens, it's like biggest altcoin season. Everything is mooning. It doesn't matter in which baby doge, whale, Floki coin you are. It doesn't matter anymore unless the coin has a narrative. But whenever we are getting this huge drawdowns on the Bitcoin dominance, that is basically when, like this, right? When we have a mega altcoin season, right? So here we have one mega altcoin season. This is one bull market. This is one mega altcoin season. And now we are rallying up. So we could really see, in my opinion, some 60% or so, maybe a little bit under it. So we rally up to this in the Bitcoin dominance. And until that point, until that turning point where we go like this, it's actually... it's actually Bitcoin's time. It's time to accumulate altcoins to ride that wave. But this can take a while, right? We could, as you see, if we draw this in and then we have a collapse here, we are already somewhere in 2025, right? So it can take a while. That doesn't mean that our altcoins are not going up on every pullback. They will. They will also catch up a little bit. They will grow with the entire market cap. But the real deal is when all that Bitcoin money flows into the altcoins, right? So just to get that out here as well. And that is more likely than not when this total altcoin market cap is going to break. Yeah. So here we see it right now. There we go. So here we see it. We are coming up to that with the total altcoin market cap, but still this will take probably a time to break out. Once it breaks out, we are flying, right? Yeah, so I can only see this here from the chat. Felipe says a really bad scenario, maybe WW3. Yeah, it's true, but I don't see it because look, these two countries have been shooting each other and going at each other for I don't know how long, right? And there's really no, I mean, the US has stationed some aircraft carrier and stuff like that in the region, right? So you really have to want to break your country if you go against them in such a scenario, right? I mean, even if you are Iran or something like that. So you really have to want to break your country there will be missiles flying left and right and destroying everything. And I cannot see at the moment that there's really cause for that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see that. That fear was also there with the previous one that broke out, and now no one cares anymore because we moved on to the next one. But there's still the same war going on, right? And it doesn't seem that it's ending. They're just stuck in another level of escalation, and probably this time same thing happens as well in that specific region, right? So I think there needs to be more than that. If obviously if some other nations would enter the conflict and throw serious stuff on those countries, so to say, then yes, then we could look at a scenario like this. But other than that, I think it's the same as usual. You will probably both sides will fight a war with a proxy war, right? Probably it's going to evolve into a long-term proxy war, like the other conflict also is, basically, in my opinion. But yes, if it happens, we all buy Bitcoin cheap. We care, my man. We still have 220 hostages in Gaza. Yeah, that's not what I meant. I do not mean that we do not care about the people. Obviously, we hope for peace, right? Obviously, we hope for that all the hostages get released and so on. That is what I meant. That is what I would say. What I meant by we do not care is the financial markets don't care about the escalation too much, as we have seen, because we did not have a major meltdown. It's something that was expected, that this was taken to another level, although it came in unexpected, in my opinion, right? It was expected that this has been taken to another level. But you are right, there are hostages and the situation is really bad for the involved countries. But in terms of World War III or something like that, I don't see this happening or unfolding. Maybe it's a hard word to say, I don't care or we don't care. So I'm sorry for that. But I meant it from a financial perspective, right? In terms of lives and so on, obviously we are caring and hoping that this gets solved. I think there have been some people released and they are well and alive, so we hope that this is also for the rest of the hostages. Yeah, but enough with that. Let's talk about Ecomi real quick. Where are we? Here. So we had a pump, but actually it evolved into hitting our head really hard here on the overhead resistance, right? So yeah, there's somewhat of a, why can't I draw? So Ecomi, right? I cannot draw. There we go. Oh, okay, because I went out of the logarithmic there, but we want to have the logarithmic so we can see something on the chart. Yeah, exactly. Felipe says it. Let's stick together as a fam. There will be better days for the affected. So there we go. Can I delete this, please? Yeah, okay. There we go. So we have found ourselves in this range of where a lot of confluence is on this specific resistance line, right? More or less in this zone. And we have shot above it, but we lost it again. And now we are hitting our head basically all the time on this, trying to break above. And this is probably someone who placed a bigger sell wall in here that is slowly being eaten up by the bulls on Ecomi. Yeah, I think as long as what I said before for Bitcoin dominance, as long as we are not having a pullback in Bitcoin dominance and massive money flowing into the altcoins, especially altcoins that are not listed on many exchanges like Ecomi, cannot move a lot. We had this A, B, C correction, right? It's hopefully over, although it could still continue, right? I mean, here is still a smaller scale downtrend, so you could see this really finishing into, for example, into this level. So you could still have another pullback to this level, and it would still be the same, like until the end of the week or so, right? So another chance to get in at these prices for Ecomi. I think for now we can be very happy that we are consolidating on this level and that we did not really break down to lower levels, depending on how you view it. But I think that we want to see a strong Ecomi chart development set up for a breakout, and that can take a while, as we said, right? So this shoulder forming can clearly take until November or even beginning of December, right? And then we should have some kind of a rally. Yeah, so I think that is basically it. Today I will have to end the stream a little bit earlier, so let's move on to Veve quickly and see what is new for Veve. To be honest, not too much. I'm quite happy that I didn't stream yesterday's Halloween space. I think that that they have announced a couple of Halloween drops, and they are posting a lot of stuff, but overall we are getting less less drops at the moment. We have here this villains drop, but I think it's another post, the 5 Disney villain vintage metal posters. So the new thing here is that it's metal posters are going to drop on Saturday, 28th of October, 8 a.m. PT. And yeah, so this is basically happening. So yesterday that was Veve Collectors Chat, Incredible Halloween, and more. So we will see what else is coming out of Halloween. But so far they have not announced something crazy yet, and I think we get this Incredibles, right? Incredibles drop on Friday, and we have this comic drop here on Thursday. So tomorrow there is this comic drop. Looks a little bit like another OnlyFans comic, right? But anyways, probably by talking all of this a little bit different stuff here on YouTube, this live stream probably gets a little bit of a disadvantage in the algo, right? Yeah, right. And Felipe says that there will be also another USPS stamp drop, I think. So that is also going to happen. What is that, by the way? Spider-Man 2 with the Stan Lee, okay. And the stamps will be animated, and that is new. Oh, thank you for that. So they didn't post about this, and I missed half of that live stream there from the collectors one. It was one point something hours. So, and also David, you mentioned something about the park entrance gate or something like that, which is the entrance gate of Jurassic Park, if I am not mistaken. I think that was mentioned. So that could be coming as well. Yeah, maybe that has some utility or so, I hope at least. But yeah, animated stamps, the villain posters, and I think there's a lot going on right now until the 31st. So where Halloween is, and we could be, if Veve goes a little bit slower, there's something bigger coming up. And remember that I think we had 2 years ago, was it 1 year ago or 2 years ago? No, 2 years ago, I think 2 years ago, we had in November the Disney Golden Moments. So 2 years ago we had the Disney Golden Moments in November, so there could be something coming up for Pumpvember, where they get us excited again. But yeah, I think that's it for today, guys. I have to leave a little bit earlier. We only did 45 minutes, but I think it should be fine. And yeah, so everyone, thank you all for watching. Smash up the like button, subscribe to the channel if you like the daily live stream, tick the little bell to always get notified. And what else? Yeah, wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. And I see you in tomorrow's Crypto Morning